potential to be first-team All-Pro. Guess why, Jenny? Because they're all in the NFL. That's how it works. You know, when everybody got upset with me and they say, well, Nigeria has 5 NBA players on their roster. Guess how many on the USA team roster? All of them. So there's the difference. Skip, you and I both know good and well. So now all of a sudden, this year, he's going to be better than Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be better than Tom Brady. He's going to be better than possibly Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Really? Let me tell you something, Skip Bayless. Your team, the Dallas Cowboys, have made the playoffs 3 times in the last 11 years. Guess what significant happened that year? Their running back led the league in rushing. In 2014, it was DeMarco Murray. 2016, it was Zeke Elliott. 2018, it was Zeke Elliott. That's what you were able to do, run the football. And that year, you led the league in pass attempts 50% of the times. Skip, but you're not the same. Zach Martin is starting to show wear and tear. Tyron Smith played 154 snaps last year. He missed time the year before. So now the injuries are coming with greater regularity, and they're keeping him down for longer periods of time. Lyle Collins missed the entire last season with a torn labrum in his hip. He's back. You got no Travis Frederick. He retired because of he said, I just can't perform to the level that I'm used to. And Tyler Biadasz, I think I'm saying his name right, right? He ranked 33rd out of 37 eligible centers. Really? And you're going to lead and Dak Prescott behind that. And you guys were never known for protection because, remember, it was that offensive line, which was great at the time, that got Tony Romo crushed. It went crunch, and you ended up missing, he missed 2015, and then you got Dak Prescott, and you know the rest is history. So, no, I do not believe Dak Prescott is going to be first team. He's going to be the first team. Y'all going to the Super Bowl. If Dak Prescott is first team All-Pro, you're going to the Super Bowl. I got 15 cases right now that he ain't going to be first team All-Pro quarterback. 15. As a matter of fact, make it 1,500.
All I care about, and I want to be very clear about this, is that I will win another swimming pool of Diet Mountain Dew.
No, you won't.
Because you believe that somebody other than my Cowboys will win the NFC least. And
yes.
You will be wrong about that.
You
my
gave me all the other teams.
Definitely good enough to win the East or least.
Skip, you gave me everybody except the Cowboys. So you told Shannon, take the field. I took the field.
Good. Take it and run with it right over the edge of the cliff into oblivion and splash down into all the dew that you owe me. So the point is, as much as I believe that Dak and company will win the East next year, when I read that last night Pro Football Focus is proclaiming Dak Prescott as the top candidate to break through among quarterbacks and be first-team All-Pro, meaning the best quarterback in the league next year, I was dumbfounded. I was blindsided. I was flummoxed. I was astounded because, I'm sorry, as much as I love Dak, even I can't go there. Seriously? And the stat I keep reading now is Dak Prescott, before he got hurt, in those first 4 games that he played full games in, he threw for the most yards in the history of the National Football League in those first 4 games.
Yes.
So what?
Now,
one of them. I have to give in to my man Shannon Sharp, the Hall of Famer, who kept saying empty calories. Well, what happened in the first 4 games? My team should have been 0-4. It took a miracle, not a minor miracle, a major miracle of an onside kick recovery at the end of the Atlanta game for them to pull it out 40-39. They trailed in that game 26-7 and 39-24 before they miraculously pulled it out.
Correct.
And yeah, Dak threw for 450 yards in that game. Guess what? Against the worst pass defense in the history of the National Football League. The history. Well, how can you put any weight in that? How much credibility can you cast into 450 yards against the worst defense in the history of the National Football League pass defense?
Exactly.
In a game that you trailed 26-7. And then at Seattle, they fall behind 30-15. And then Cleveland at home, They trailed 31-14, 41-14 entering the fourth quarter. What do you think's happening? Empty calories are happening like crazy. Dak threw for 502 yards, and they still lost 49-38, in large part because the defense was abominably bad. But I can't read much into this, and I keep using the stat, which is the most horrifying stat of all to me. Dak Prescott, in his last 17 starts for my team, has won 6 and lost 11. 6-11, and you're telling me he's going to break through and break out and be the best quarterback in football next year? I hope so. That would be a major miracle to me, because in the end, Shannon, like Pro Football Focus last year in the 4 games ranked him the 7th best quarterback. So I don't know what they're doing. Is this just a clickbait story? I have no idea, because all I know is I even disagree with what Steven said. He was laughing when he said it, that his only regret is they should have signed Dak the first time around. Well, you've said that 100,000 times on this show. And I get it, but I don't, because they tried to sign him early in that 2019 season. Jerry Jones said after the opening win against the Giants, right? Yes, the Giants. After the opening win, he said signing Dak is imminent, as in we've agreed on the money. We just got to cross the T's and dot the I's. Mm-hmm. And you know what happened? He had another big game against a bad team at Washington. Miami. And another big game against a bad team at home, Miami. And here we went into stalemate and impasse because Todd France, the new representative for Dak Prescott, said, April Fool's, Jerry, in September, because we want a whole lot more money. And all of a sudden they went to, quote unquote, contract war. Well, how did Dak respond to the pressure of betting on himself? Well, he was pretty horrible down the stretch. The last 13 games of that season, Pro Football Focus ranked him the 18th best quarterback. And you know, and I know, I don't need to give you the road litany of disasters where they just kept losing game after big game on the road, and the offense was miserable. And it went all the way to the last game at Philadelphia, and the offense was still miserable. And Dak missed a big throw to Tavon Austin at the end of the game that might have changed it. And I don't have anything to show. So it's hard for me to say, well, they blew it by not signing him early. I think they tried, and then they finally just got caught and stuck because they thought there wasn't a better option than Dak. Yeah, well, given that, you should have signed him the first. You should have given him what he wanted earlier instead of having to pay later. Right. Well,
yeah, Skip, if you look at it, Skip, if you look at the guys that have been the first-team All-Pro quarterback, you look at their team, Lamar Jackson, 14-2. You look at Manning twice, 13-3. You look at Brady. You look at Rodgers. You look at Mahomes. That's what it takes to be the first-team All-Pro. Because, Skip, there's only one spot. It's not like you got two tackles, 2 guards, you know, 2 wide receivers. You get one spot. And if you look at the combined record, I think probably the lowest, somebody was probably 12-4 or 13-3.
Sure. No, I agree. If he's first-team All-Pro, they're like 13-3 with home court advantage, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Right?
Extra game, Skip, 14-3. Now they got an extra game, so they're like 14-3 or 15-2.
I don't really understand the runaway hype train for Dak Prescott. I don't know if it's because he became such a sympathetic figure, he got hurt, and he had the tragedy off the field. I don't know what it is. I hope it's correct. I do. I can't tell you how much I would love to see him be first-team All-Pro. But recent history does not suggest that's going to happen in any way, shape, or form. And to your point, not only is the offensive line iffy at best, aging and oft injured, but how about the 3 receivers that I thought going into last year had 1,000-yard capability, all 3 of them?
Yes.
Well, ESPN's recent poll ranking receivers, well, not one of the 3 made the top 10 or the honorable mention second 10. Not one of them. Even Amari didn't make the top 20 receivers. And it's hard for me to defend him because he's been so bad on the road.
Skip, but I've been trying to tell you that. I can go 12, 15 guys deep before I take Amari Cooper. And people, oh, no. I said, you take the fandom out of it. And I'll go down and Devontae and Julio and D-Hop and Justin Jefferson. And you look at these guys, DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown. You're not taking Amari in front of those guys. You're just not.
You're probably not. I do think CD's going to have a breakout sophomore season. And so I think he's going to become the number one and the go-to receiver for Dak Prescott. So I'm banking on him, but still, to bank on Dak being the best quarterback in football is, I got to say, it's pretty preposterous to me.
Oh, and Skip, receivers, I left